if civilization is not strong, if civilization doesn't grow, then nothing else matters. You know, profits don't matter if civilization collapses. There's no profits. There's no, you know, we cannot exist absent civilization. So sometimes people may say, like, well, is this an altruistic thing? I mean, I think for me, it feels altruistic, but even if one is not altruistic, even if one is very self-centered, you have to say, if you simply think long-term, you have to be pro-civilization because you cannot exist without civilization.
Why did you think it was a good time to launch an AI news network?
Sure. Well, we figure that there's quite an opportunity at the moment for a new type of news, a new experience for the user. What we're looking at is a new era of personalization that we can make powered by artificial intelligence. You just mentioned that people are looking for very niche topics. And right now, in the US and in other parts of the world, when you program a news network, you're programming one feed for the entire local area or the entire country. And what we're able to do is to create personalized feeds for each user so they see what they're looking for.
With trusted news sources that everybody knows. We can't announce those yet, but we agree with you. You know, a news network is nothing without trustworthiness. If the viewers don't trust you, then you're not going to be in business very long. So we understand that at the beginning, what we're going to do is partner with names and brands that the consumers know. And as we move along, we will slowly start to do more of our own journalism that we generate. But we want to go very slowly on that. We know there's been stories out there about people who have tried AI news. It has been inaccurate. There's been hallucinations. So we want to make sure that we're not doing that. We're going to move very carefully.
I'm an old school journalist. My degree is in journalism. And when I look at this, I think, if you only give people what they want, and we've seen this with social media platforms, the algorithms lead you into further and further marginalized and radicalized content where you're not getting a broad scope, a bigger picture of things. Is that something that you're weighing at all? Adam, do you think to yourself, well, if we're giving people exactly what they want with their news, delivered in the way they want it, from the face that they want, and the voice that they want, in the language that they want, that we're going to just lead them to a very narrow worldview?
Sure. So there's a lot of nuance in how we approach this, and we have to get it right. We will succeed or fail by this principle, but it's not everything that someone's looking for. It's a combination of things. There's a combination of curation. There's a high degree of probability that you'd like to see something, and we even throw in news that's a low degree of probability that you'd like to see. And those three things put together, we're able to offer a level of customization, but also a very balanced news diet for every user.
Scott, what am I going to do for a job?
Well, you know, it's funny. You're not the person I don't think you're a person that has to worry. What AI is going to replace is the Ron Burgundys of the world, the person you can put anything on the teleprompter and they're going to read it. You know, real journalists and reporters, people who are doing interviews, people who are giving opinions, that's not what AI does better than humans. So this isn't about replacing humans. It's about figuring out small places that are targeted that AI can do a better job and using those while also keeping humans in the.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you haven't joined the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And we have Elon Musk saying that money doesn't mean anything as civilization collapses. Guys, all you have to do is look at the Georgia Guidestones. You see the agenda. And the World Economic Forum. There's too many people on the planet. Don't forget they wanted below 500 million. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. Now, guys, we have the future of news. And we know we've seen this plenty of times in emerging markets. You have AI, robotic anchors. But if you're listening to this very closely and understand the wording, the same way you feed your stomach, guys, the same way you feed the mind. And if you think that we're in a matrix now, you wait until AI takes over, because we know the sheep only hear what they want to hear. And we know they definitely don't want to hear the truth. And you know, here with the Cryptoteacher, I give you the truth, nothing but the truth. Yes, the truth hurts, but it sets you free. And we know because I give you the truth, you're going to hate me. And that's the reason why if you get to choose what you want to hear and it's the truth, people are going to turn away from that. They know AI is going to keep feeding them what they want to hear. So therefore, you're never in reality. We see it on social media. And don't forget, these algorithms are going to know you better than you know yourself. And when I stated the robots, algorithms, and drones are going to take over the economy, we all know everyone laughed, but now you're clearly seeing it. And all those people who helped the agenda thought they were going to be rewarded at the end. There's a book that talks about this. Of course, I'm not going to go over it on here. I'm going to have to do the Patreon. But we all know, though, especially those who have my book, we know there was a book written letting people know, even though you're helping with the agenda, you're not going to be rewarded at the end. But guys, as we can see, 60 to 70% of this workforce is going to be gone. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have the VanEck CEO on the spot Bitcoin ETF. She asked about criminals using Bitcoin and crypto. And he basically said the banks are the biggest what? I'll let you finish that. And she quickly stated, let's stir this into safer territory. But Bitcoin and crypto is definitely going to start picking up as soon as the emerging markets flip the switch. Remember, guys, they're going to give us the signal, along, of course, with the central banks. But don't forget, guys, this is all about the fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Established ETF player to file for a Bitcoin related ETF.
Your personal interest, or what drove it?
It was me, but listen, gold. My dad started the firm with the first gold fund in the United States, and so store of value investing is in our DNA. And I said, oh man, what's this Bitcoin thing? And I knew about it, and I said, well, you got to do the deep dive. So I listened to the podcasts, read the white paper, and I said, no, this is going to be an accompaniment of gold. And, when I try to talk to people who are so doubtful about Bitcoin, I said, listen, that was in 2017, it was $3,000 a Bitcoin. It's up 10x from now. It's just, why are you surprised? Remember China? Large parts of China were completely undeveloped and unindustrialized 30 years ago, but things change, right? And so I think Bitcoin is the obvious asset that is growing up in front of our eyes. But what I say as far as something else coming along, there's 50 million users of Bitcoin, so it's got network effects. I think it's impossible for me to imagine some other, what I call it, internet store of value that's going to get leapfrog Bitcoin. So that's number one. As far as the criminality and all that kind of stuff, listen, I don't throw the first stone if you're associated with the bank or any financial institution that's never been involved with criminals in one shape or another. I'll leave it at that.
Let me steer it back to safer territory. How about
growing up? Like I said, it's like a child that's growing up, and so you can argue about it being a bubble. And what I say is no bubble. So it bubbled in 2017, but then it hit all-time highs in 2021. So nothing has ever been a bubble that then has outperformed itself. And so I fully expect in this cycle, and you have this halvening thing happening in April, which is great technically for Bitcoin. I expect all-time highs in the next 12 months.
What's your ticker, I have to say to your credit, is HODL.
Yeah, so. We're very happy with the ticker, which we announced last week. But I very, very much expect it'll be all one day.
Okay.
Because that's what happened with the Ethereum futures. So because the SEC decided to sort of put everything on hold on crypto, just depending on paperwork, effectively, someone could have an unfair advantage. And they've said from a policy perspective, no, let everyone start at the same time.
Going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, And then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming, while everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks, and while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.